You know that moment when you catch yourself in the mirror and you just don't recognize who's looking back? Maybe it hits you, I don't know, in the bathroom at 2 a.m. after you've done that thing again, the one you swore you'd stop. Or maybe it's sitting in your car, engine off, just knowing you're about to walk in somewhere and lie. That split second where the shame just floods your chest, the weight of secrets, feeling like a total fraud.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think to yourself, that's a lively. Well, that's a deeply human thing, isn't it? And that raw, undeniable moment. It's exactly where we're going today on the deep dive. We're stepping away from, the polished surfaces and the comfortable stories. Instead, we're heading straight to what you might call the pig pen, that place of personal rock bottom.
Yeah, this deep dive is all about understanding that really profound journey of repentance and the restoration of joy that comes after, the real kind of joy, the one that happens when you finally put down the secrets and pick up your actual path.
Exactly. Today, we're digging into a pretty profound homily on repentance, and we're drawing mainly from some powerful narratives in the Christian biblical tradition, really foundational texts for them. Specifically, we'll be looking at King David's incredibly raw prayer in Psalm 51, talking about his infamous fall from grace. And we'll also dissect that really well-known parable of the prodigal son. Now, our goal isn't to give a sermon here, not at all. It's more about pulling out those universal truths, about human mistakes, real sorrow, taking responsibility, and finding that path back to purpose. Things that kind of resonate no matter what you believe.
Absolutely. Our mission, yes, to distill those vital nuggets of knowledge. Like, what does real repentance actually look like? Why does facing up to our own pigpen moments matter so much? And how does it genuinely lead back to peace, to joy? We want to help you understand not just what happened in these old stories, but why they still echo so powerfully in our own lives right now.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're starting not with, saints or perfect figures, but with two guys who, okay, very different situations, but they both hit what really felt like rock bottom. First up, King David. A lot of people know him as, the shepherd boy, Goliath, the psalmist, the man after God's own heart. But this story, this shows a whole different side of David.
Oh, indeed. This is David the adulterer, David the murderer, David the
Hmm.
fraud. Try to picture the scene at springtime. That's usually when kings go off to lead their armies. But David, he's comfortable now. He's successful. He's just strolling on his palace roof in the evening while his army is out there fighting, bleeding for him. And that's when he sees her, Bathsheba, bathing on her own rooftop. Right. And what does the source say about his intention here? Was it just like a moment of weakness, or was it more calculated?
Well, the homily really highlights this chilling kind of progression. It suggests David didn't just happen to see her and then, oops, act impulsively. No, he watched. Then he sent servants specifically to find out who she was.
Mm.
And when they came back with that crucial bit of info, that's Bathsheba, Uriah's wife.
Yeah.
Uriah, remember, one of his best, most loyal soldiers out there fighting for him right then. David didn't even pause. He just commanded, bring her to me.
Mm-hmm.
The source frames this not as weakness, but as a really calculated abuse of power. A king using his authority to take another man's wife, well, that man is literally risking his life for the kingdom.
Wow. And the deceit, it didn't stop there, did it? It just got worse, much worse.
It really did. So Bathsheba gets pregnant. Now David's got a crisis on his hands, his fix. Call Uriah back from the war. Pretend it's for a break. The hope was, Uriah goes home to his wife, sleeps with her, and then everyone assumes the baby is his.
Oh,
Simple, right?
the Uriah.
But Uriah, this incredibly principled guy, he refuses. He says he won't go home to comfort, while his comrades, his brothers in arms, are sleeping rough and tense out on the battlefield. He sleeps on David's doorstep instead.
Incredible loyalty.
Just incredible. So David then tries getting him drunk. Maybe some wine will loosen his resolve. Nope. Even drunk, Uriah's loyalty holds. He won't abandon his post.
So Uriah's deep loyalty just throws David's betrayal into even sharper relief.
Exactly. And that's when David crosses this terrible, terrible line. From adultery, he pivots to murder. He writes a letter to his general Joab, ordering him to put Uriah right in the front lines, the thickest fighting,
Right.
and then pull the other troops back, basically ensuring Uriah dies.
Oh my gosh.
He seals it with the royal seal. And then, in this truly dark, just awful twist, he hands the letter to Uriah himself to deliver. Uriah carries his own death sentence. And for months after Uriah dies in battle, David just carries on as king, sits in judgment on other people, leads worship services, pretends to grieve when the news comes about bereaved Uriah. He even marries the grieving widow. Can you just imagine the immense psychological weight of that? Leading a whole nation, judging people, all while knowing you are living this massive, profound lie.
It's sobering how someone seen as so righteous after God's own heart could fall into such a deep, tangled web of deceit. Okay, let's turn now to that other powerful story, the prodigal son. It's a really different path to the pig pen, but at a similar kind of reckoning, maybe.
Yeah, it is. This parable, told by Jesus, it features a father and his two sons. The younger son comes to his father and basically demands, "Dad, give me my share of the estate now. Don't want to wait till you die." Now, in that culture, this wasn't just asking for money early. It was devastatingly disrespectful. It was like saying, "I wish you were already dead." He's effectively cutting ties, rejecting his family, his heritage.
That's a really crucial point. The intent changes everything. It's not just about cash.
Not at all. And if it goes on, he takes it all, not just cash, his share of the land too, stuff that had been in the family for generations, turns it all into liquid assets. And he doesn't just leave town, he leaves the country. He wants to be as far away as possible from everything that reminds him of who he was, his family's values, all of it. And he just blows it all. Not on bad investments or something understandable. No,
Yep.
The text says wild living, parties, prostitutes, living like there's absolutely no tomorrow.
Just a complete abandonment of responsibility. Zero foresight.
Exactly. Then the money's gone. And wouldn't you know it, a severe famine hits the land. Reality crashes down hard. So this Jewish boy, raised with strict dietary laws, pigs are unclean, right? He gets so desperate he takes a job feeding pigs for some local farmer. Every day he's slopping their food, watching them eat, while his own stomach is just screaming with hunger. And the really heart-wrenching detail the source gives us is he starts looking at that pig slop, the coarse pods the animals ate, and thinking, man, that looks good.
Wow.
He's so hungry he'd eat literal garbage. But the farmer won't even give him that.
That's rock bottom, isn't it? Utter destitution. Both men, king and son, totally different lives, but both end up in their own personal pig pen. David, a fraud on a throne, the prodigal, starving in the mud.
And for both of them, there had to come this moment of facing the brutal truth, a moment of just stark clarity. For David, it came through the prophet Nathan. Nathan tells him this story, about a rich man stealing a poor man's only little lamb. David gets furious, righteously angry. That man deserves to die, he declares. And Nathan just looks him right in the eye and says flat out, "You are that man." Boom. All David's justifications, the royal robes, the rituals, just crumbled, gone. All the pretense vanished. Just the ugly truth of what he'd become.
And what about the prodigal son in
Now-
his moment of desperation?
For him, it was simpler, maybe, but just as profound, just as impactful, sitting there in the filth, stomach cramping. It just hits him like a ton of bricks. Wait a minute. Even my father's hired hands have bread, more than enough, and I'm here, starving to death. Clarity just cut straight through the despair. He saw where he was. He saw where he truly belonged. And he knew what he absolutely had to do.
So pulling these stories together, what's the core lesson here about this moment of truth? It's not just about feeling bad, right? It's got to be deeper than just regret.
Oh, absolutely. That's the essence of real repentance, the genuine article. Not the shallow kind we sometimes settle for. It's not feeling sorry you got caught. It's definitely not just promising to try harder next time without any real change inside. No, it's that brutal, honest moment when you stop making excuses, when all the rationalizing just falls away, and you see the truth. The truth about where you are, where you belong, and what deep changes you have to make. It's a total shift in perspective and direction, ultimately, in how you understand yourself and your place in the world.
Okay, so once you're there, in that place of brutal honesty, the pretense is gone.
Yeah.
What's left? What kind of prayer, what kind of, internal dialogue even makes sense then?
Right? It's a moment of just profound humility. It's recognizing deep down, I am wrong. And truth is right. Not, oh, I made some mistakes. Not, well, things got complicated. Just the raw, undeniable fact of your own part in it. Your accountability. David's prayer in Psalm 50, Lord, is such a powerful example of this. He just lays it out. I fully recognize my wrongdoing. My failure is constantly before me. And crucially, against you alone have I sinned, committing what is evil in your sight. He's not trying to minimize it, not at all. He's laying bare the full extent, taking full responsibility.
And it's not just about confessing the wrong, is it? It seems like he's also asking for a fundamental change inside, a restoration.
Exactly. He goes on, create in me a pure heart, O God. Renew a faithful spirit within me. He's asking for this deep internal renovation, a realignment with who he's supposed to be. It's not about becoming someone totally different, maybe, but uncovering the real person he was meant to be, stripped of all the lies and the self-serving stuff. He's asking for his true identity back, what his tradition called a man after God's own heart. And then, there's the plea for joy. He prays, restore to me the joy of your salvation. Sustain me with a willing spirit. Notice, he's not asking for happiness, that fleeting thing based on circumstances. He's asking for joy. that deep down gladness that comes from being lined up with truth again, with integrity, finding peace in your real purpose. What many traditions might call being right with God, or just being true to your best self.
How does that kind of prayer translate into, like, ongoing action, into what some people call carrying your cross? Because this isn't just a one-and-done declaration, is it?
No, absolutely not. The source makes it clear that this path, real repentance, it's not a single event.
Yeah.
It's a daily thing, a daily commitment. It's waking up each morning and consciously choosing, okay, deeper values over immediate wants, choosing truth over convenience, integrity over fear. And this daily surrender, it isn't just about, religious rules. It's about that consistent, often really hard choice to live by your core principles, even when it's super uncomfortable. It's that moment-to-moment decision. Am I going to act with integrity here, offer forgiveness, choose the harder, more ethical path, or just go for the easy win, the immediate gratification? Some days that commitment feels, well, maybe not easy, but manageable. Other days it feels so heavy you can barely take another step, but you keep walking. Because that's where the real joy, the real purpose is found, not in getting your own way, but in surrendering to a better way.
And that has ripple effects, doesn't it? Our own journey impacts the people around us.
It absolutely does. David clearly understood this after his fall and getting back on track. His prayer goes on with a promise, something like, "Then I will teach rebels your ways, and those who stray will return to you." He's basically saying, once I'm okay, once I'm realigned, I'm going to use what I went through to help other people find their way back too.
That's what an authentic life starts to look like, right? Using your own restoration to help restore others. And notice what else David learned about what really matters. He says, you don't take pleasure in religious rituals, or I'd bring them. Burnt sacrifices don't delight you. Oh no. The sacrifice you actually desire is a repentant spirit, a broken and humbled heart. You'll never reject that. It's not about the outward show. It's about the genuine change inside, offering your authentic, humbled self, not just your impressive resume, religious or otherwise.
What's really striking about the prodigal son story, maybe the most unexpected part, is the father's reaction when his son finally turns around and heads home. It just completely flips what you might expect after such devastating choices. Oh, it's incredible. So the boy finally heads home, right? He's rehearsing this little speech in his head about being unworthy, asking to be a servant. And then something truly beautiful happens. The father in the narrative implies he'd been watching the horizon every single day he spots him while he's still way off in the distance.
Wow, so he was waiting every day.
It seems so, waiting, watching, hoping. And when he sees him, this dignified, respected patriarch, he hikes up his robes and he runs like a crazy man down that dusty road, doesn't care who sees him, doesn't wait for apologies, doesn't wait for explanations. He just runs, overcome with compassion, runs to embrace his son, kissing him before the boy can even get a word out.
And the son starts his speech, right, his apology, but the father just cuts him off.
Doesn't even let him finish. That's the most amazing part. The son starts, "Father, I've sinned against God and I've disgraced you. I don't deserve..." And the father interrupts him, shouting to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe, put it on him, put my signet ring on his finger, put sandals on his feet, get the fatted calf, prepare a feast. We are celebrating." My son was dead and he's alive again. He was lost and now he is found. It's full, immediate restoration. No probation, you got to earn your way back. Just complete, right now, return to being a son. Full status, full identity. It's this powerful picture of just unconditional acceptance, grace that runs to meet you before you can even finish explaining yourself.
But this incredible story, it has that contrast, doesn't it? The older son. And it kind of breaks your heart in a different way.
Yeah, Jesus doesn't stop there. He shows us what happens when that kind of restoration is met with, well, resentment. The older son's coming back from working in the fields, hears music, dancing, finds out from a servant it's a party because his younger brother is back, and he refuses to go in, just flat out refuses. His father comes out, pleads with him. But the older son protests, right? "Look, all these years I've slaved for you, never disobeyed you once, yet you never even gave me a young goat to celebrate with my friends." But when this son of yours comes home, notice, this son of yours, not my brother, after wasting all your money on prostitutes, you kill the prime calf for him.
Oof. That's powerful resentment. And honestly kind of relatable, isn't it? He feels like his loyalty, his hard work, it's just been overlooked, taken for granted maybe, all for the brother who messed up big time.
He absolutely felt that way. The older son, see, he'd been home the whole time physically, but he never really understood his father's heart, never really experienced it. He was serving out of duty, obligation, maybe even resentment already, not out of real relationship, not out of love. He was carrying his responsibilities like this heavy burden, not like a path to joy or a way to express love. And the father replies so gently, "My child, You are always with me. Everything I have is yours. He's trying to say, you had access to all this joy, all this connection all along.
Mm.
But we had to celebrate. We had to be glad because your brother was dead to us and he's alive. He was lost and now he's found. He's trying to open the older son's eyes to the joy of grace, of connection over just obligation and bitterness.
So, bringing this all back, what does this mean for you listening right now? Maybe you feel like you're sitting in your own pig pen, carrying secrets that feel like they could just crush everything if they came out. Maybe you're just so tired of pretending, so tired of being a fake that you can barely stand to look at yourself anymore.
The message from these stories is just so profound.
Yeah.
You're not too far gone. You're really not. Look at David, a calculating murderer who lived a huge lie for months. Look at the prodigal, a selfish fool, literally starving in pig filth. Yet both of them found their way back to truth, back to acceptance. Neither one was beyond hope. Neither was beyond that unconditional embrace.
And the deep joy, the kind that comes from being genuinely lined up with who you truly are, with a purpose bigger than yourself. It's still there. It might be buried under a lot of shame and pretense, but it's there. And you don't have to earn it back, not with complicated rituals or trying really, really hard to be perfect from now on. You just have to turn towards home, turn towards that place of brutal honesty and radical acceptance, and just allow it to be restored. It's a gift, just waiting.
Yeah, and when you experience that restoration, that kind of realignment of your spirit, you won't be able to keep quiet about it. Not really. Your life itself starts to transform into this living testament to the power of truth, the power of grace. Your responsibilities, that cross you carry, it actually becomes lighter, not because the burden disappears, but because you're walking in freedom now, with purpose. You're not carrying it alone anymore.
That metaphorical father figure is watching the horizon for you right now, ready to run. The celebration's already being planned in some sense. All you have to do is turn toward home. So maybe the question to leave with is, what does turning toward home look like for you today, right now? How might just acknowledging your own pig pen, whatever that looks like for you, be the very first courageous step towards experiencing that deep, unconditional joy, that real restoration?